Hello, everybody. How cool was that to have our mystery guest? And I've got another mystery guest who is going to come in on Friday at 11 o'clock. So I wonder who that mystery guest is going to be. So I hope you've enjoyed today, and I hope you've had some time just to stop and to do some fun stuff. Because that's what that was all about today, and we're going to do that again next Wednesday. So it's just something that we can all just take a little bit of time to breathe, because sometimes I think we forget to on this mad journey that we're on when it comes to lockdown. So I've loved all your messages that you've been sending about the one and only Ivan, and so here we go with our next little journey with the one and only Ivan. Once I asked Bob why he didn't want a home. Humans, I noticed, seem to be irrationally fond of dogs, and I could see why a puppy would be easier to cuddle with than I would be as a gorilla.
You know what? Everywhere's my home, Bob answered. I'm a wild beast, my friend, untamed and undaunted.
I told Bob he could work in the shows like Snickers, the poodle who rides Stella's back. Bob and Snickers sleep on a pink pillow in Mac's office. He says she eats foul-smelling meat from a can. Sounds pretty gross to me. He made a face and his lips curled, revealing tiny needles like teeth.
Poodles, he said, are parasites.
Mac gives me a fresh crayon, a yellow one, and 10 pieces of paper.
Time to earn your keep, Picasso, he mutters.
I really do wonder who this Picasso is. I wonder if he had a tyre swing like I do, and I wonder if he eats his crayons like I do. I know I have lost my magic, so I try my very best, and I clutch the crayons and I think. I scan my domain and think about what is yellow. I know, a banana. I draw a banana. The paper tears, but only a little bit, because I think I pushed a little bit too hard. I lean back, and Mac picks up the drawing.
Another day, another scribble. 1 down, gorilla, 9 to go.
So I have to think about what else might be yellow. It's quite hard. So I look around my domain, and guess what? I draw another banana, and then I drew 8 more. 3 visitors are actually here. There's a woman and a boy and a girl. I strut across my domain for them. I dangle from my tyre swing, and I eat 3 banana peels in a row. Do you know what the boy did? He spat at my window, and the girl, well, she threw stones at my window. Sometimes I'm glad there's glass there. I thought that was a bit strange. After the show, the kids who spat and threw pebbles come back. I display my impressive teeth and I splash in my filthy pool and I grunt and hoot and I eat and eat and eat some more. The children pound their pathetic chests and then they threw more rocks at my mirror. Slimy chimps, I think, and I throw a me ball at them with my poo. Sometimes I wish the glass wasn't there. I'm sorry I called those children slimy chimps. I think my mother would be very ashamed of me. Like those children that spat at me and threw pebbles, Julia is a child, but that after all is not her fault. While her father George cleans the moor each night, Julia sits by my domain. She could sit anywhere she wants, by the carousel, in the empty food court, on the bleachers, coated in sawdust, but I'm not bragging when I say she always chooses to sit with me. I think it's because we both love to draw. Sarah, Julia's mother, used to help clean the moor, but when she got sick and grew pale and stopped, Sarah stopped coming. Every night, Julia offers to help George, and every night he says firmly,
Homework, Julia. The floors will just get dirty again.
Homework, I've discovered, involves a sharp pencil and thick books and long sighs. I enjoy chewing pencils. I'm sure I would excel at homework. Sometimes Julia dozes off, and sometimes she reads her book, but mostly she draws pictures and talks about her day. I don't know why people talk to me, but they often do. Perhaps it's because they think I can't understand them. Or perhaps it's because I can't talk back. It's really quite confusing. Do you know what? Julia enjoys science and art. She doesn't like Leela Burpee, who teases her because her clothes are old, and she doesn't like Dershwin Williams, who teases her too at her class, but in a nice way, and she would like to be a famous artist when she grows up. She tells me all these things. Sometimes Julia actually draws me. I'm an elegant fellow in her pictures, with my silver back gleaming like moon on moss. I never look angry, the way I do in Fading Billboard by the highway. That big billboard makes me look really mean and angry. But in her pictures I always look a little bit sad though. I really, really love Julia's pictures that she draws of my friend Bob. She draws him flying across the page, a blur of feet and fur. She draws him motionless, peeking out from behind a trash can, or the soft hill of my belly when he likes to sit on my tummy. Sometimes in her drawings, Julia gives Bob wings or a lion's mane, and once she even made him into a tortoise. But the best thing she ever gave him wasn't a drawing. Julia gave Bob his name. For a long time, actually, no one knew what to call Bob. Now and then a mall worker would try to approach him with a little bit of food and go, "Here, doggy, doggy, doggy," they'd call, holding out a French fry. Or they'd say things like, "Come on, pooch," or "How about a little sandwich?" But he would always vanish into the shadows before anyone could get too close. One afternoon, Julia decided to draw the little dog curled up in the corner of my domain. First she watched him for a long time, chewing on her thumbnail. I could tell she was looking at him the way an artist looks at the world when she's trying to understand it. Finally, she grabbed her pencil and set to work, and when she was finished, she held up the page. There he was, a tiny big-eared dog. He was smart and cunning, and his gaze was ever so wistful. Under the picture were 3 bold, confident marks, circled in black. Julia's father peered over his shoulder. "That's him exactly," he nodded. He pointed to the circled marks. "I didn't realise his name was Bob," he said. "Me neither," said Julia. "I had to draw him first, and then I thought, he looks like a Bob." Bob won't let humans touch him. He says they smell weird. But every now and then I see him sitting at Julia's feet, and her fingers move gently just right behind his ear, and he looks like he really loves it. Usually Mac leaves after the last show, but tonight he's in his office working late. When he's done, he stops by my domain and stares at me for a long time while he drinks from a brown bottle. It's a very strange thing to be drinking from. George joins him, broom in hand, and Max says the thing he always says. "How about that game last night? And business has been slow, but it'll get better, you see. Don't forget to empty the trash." He says the same things every day. Matt glances over at the picture Julia is drawing. "What are you making?" he asks. "It's for my mum," she says. "It's a flying dog." And she holds up her drawing, looking at it. "And you know what? My mum," she says, "likes aeroplanes and dogs." Mac murmurs, sounding unconvinced. He looks at George. "How is your wife doing anyway?" "Oh well, about the same," George says. "She has good days and bad days." "Don't we all?" Mac says. Mac starts to leave, then pauses. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a crumpled green bill and presses it into George's hand. It's that weird stuff that those human people use when they try and get things from these funny shops. "Buy the kids some crayons," he says. Mac's already out the door before George can even yell thank you. He says a lot of thank yous, does that George. "Stella," I say after Julia and her father go home, "I can't sleep." Oh, my dear, of course you can. You're the king of the sleepers, says Julia.
Shush, Bob says from his perch on my belly. I'm dreaming about chili fries.
I am tired, but I'm just not sleepy. What are you tired of? Stella asks. I think for a while it's hard to put into words. We're really not complainers. We're dreamers and we're poets and we like to take lots of naps. I don't know exactly. I kick my tire swing. I think I may be a little tired of my domain.
That's because it's a cage, Bob tells me.
Bob is not always the most tactful of creatures. Oh, I know, Stella says gently. It is a very small domain.
Yeah, and you're a really big gorilla, Bob adds.
Stella, I ask. Yes? I noticed that you were limping more than usual today. Is your leg bothering you? Just a little, my friend, Stella answers. I sigh. Bob resettles, his ears flick. He dribbles a bit, but I don't mind, 'cause I'm used to it. Try eating something, Stella said. That always makes you happy. So I eat an old brown carrot. It doesn't help, but I don't tell Stella, 'cause I know she needs her sleep. You could remember a good day, Stella suggests. That's what I do when I can't sleep. Do you know what? Stella remembers every moment since she was born. Every smell, every sunset, every slight, every victory. You know, I can't remember much, I say. There's a difference, Stella says gently, between can't remember and won't remember. That's true, I admit. Not remembering can be difficult, but I've had lots of time to work on it. Memories, says Stella, are precious. They help us tell us who we are. Try remembering all your keepers. You always liked Carl, the one with the harmonica. Oh, yes, Carl, I remember how he gave me a coconut when I was still really little, and it took me all day to open it. I try to recall other keepers I've known. The humans who clean my domain and prepare my food and sometimes keep me company. There was one who poured Pepsi into my waiting mouth, and Katrina who used to poke me with a broom when I was sleeping. I didn't like her much. And Ellen who sang, "How much is that monkey in the window?" She wasn't very nice either. And then there was Gerald who bought me a big pack of fat bright crayons and a luscious pad of thick paper. Gerald was my favourite keeper. But mostly it's Mac I recall, day in and day out, year after year. Mac who bought me and raised me and says I'm no longer cute. As if a silverback could ever be cute. We're big and strong. Moonlight falls on the frozen carousel, on the silent popcorn stand, on the stall of leather belts that smell like long-gone cows. I can hear Stella breathing, like the wind in trees, and I have to wait for sleep to find me. So I wonder if sleep has found you, my little Zoomers. So I hope you have a lovely sleep, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. So sleep tight. See you tomorrow.